Located 35 miles east of downtown Pittsburgh, Conemaugh River Lake is one of 16 flood control dams in southwestern Pennsylvania administered by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Since its inception in 1952, the Conemaugh Dam has helped prevent flood damage in the Conemaugh, Kiskiminetas, Lower Allegheny, and Upper Ohio River valleys. A hydroelectric power plant downstream from the dam produces 16 megawatts of energy from 2 turbine generator units. Depending on the amount of recent rain, there is a big difference in the amount of water released from the dam, as you can see in these photographs. A canoe launch is located at Altman's Run, where my trip will begin and end today. Just outside of Salzburg, before arriving at the lake, I get a welcome view of Chestnut Ridge, that dark band along the horizon beyond the trees. Chestnut Ridge is a long, narrow chain of hills that forms a continuous elevated strip starting in southern Indiana County, Pennsylvania, and extending 75 miles all the way to Morgantown, West Virginia. It has always been a warm and comforting sight to me during my lifetime of travels in this part of the state. My plan for the day was to put in at Altman's Run, then paddle 3.5 miles upstream under 2 stone arch bridges, turn around, then return. I put all my gear in the kayak at the parking lot, put the boat on dolly wheels, then towed it to the water's edge. Power boats are not allowed on Conemaugh River Lake, but boats powered by electric motors and manually operated boats are permitted. The lake has no launch ramps, so boating is mostly limited to canoes and car-top boats at the carry and launch areas. Since power boating is prohibited, the 640-acre lake has maintained a rich natural environment which is unique to the region. This is the small lagoon where Altman's Run eventually enters into the lake. The little forked stick you see in a lot of the pictures is where a fisherman stuck that into the ground to hold up his fishing rod. Once I got in the boat, I realized that I could only see the tree line in front of me and didn't know where the opening was, where the lagoon enters into the lake. So I went here and there and had a couple of wrong turns before I eventually found the opening to the lake. And that goes nowhere. Let's try over here. A bit of a wind today. Make things interesting. Like so many other times on these flood control lakes, I have a tough time telling exactly where I am, where I need to go. Today my problem is finding the main lake. Now I make a left turn here. Not too sharp, don't want to be in the shallow, where it empties into the lake proper, and I believe I've found it. Skeg up. That's more like it. It's a big lake. Right now I have the wind at my back. Put the skeg down. Close to the shore. I was at this lake, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago with my buddy Ben. Open canoe. Went up here and explored the area where the two old railroad bridges go across the lake, stone arch bridges. That's the new West Penn rail trail. I'm trying out a few pieces of new equipment today. I saw Adventure Otaku use a marine compass when he was doing his Assateague Island camping trip, 2-night camping trip. And I was fascinated by that. Now, if you're in the ocean way, you really do need a compass to help you navigate, know where you are, where you're going. When I'm on these little twisty, windy, crooked streams in western Pennsylvania, I often don't know where I am. I mean, the easy way to do it is to just pull out your phone and do the GPS and Google Maps and boom, you know, there, the little blue dot, that's where you are. But today, I made a little chart for each leg to give me the bearing for each leg of this lake. So right now I'm a heading of 150 until I get to the next bend or crook in the lake, and then I will be on a heading of 135 degrees. So it's just a little fun. It's not necessary. I know if I go far enough, I'll hit a stone arch railroad bridge. but the compass is working real well. I steady right on 150, right as predicted. Got the bearings from Google Earth. You can do that on Google Earth. Draw a line and it tells you what the bearing and the distance is. So. And I have a new bracket for the cameras on the bow. I can put two cameras together, one facing each way. I've got my GoPro 9 up there facing forward, and my old Yi camera facing toward me. Hi. And I've got my GoPro 11 up here in the cockpit so that I can turn it sideways like this and get the side view. Or I can point it at me, or point it straight ahead, or point it up at the sky, or point it down at the water. Show my wonderful paddling style. I've got the max lens mod on this GoPro 11 in the cockpit, the one that's showing my paddling stroke right now. And I had some trouble with the media mod. My media mod conked out. It's probably that old USB-C socket deal. But I bought a new media mod, and I'm going to leave the camera in the media mod forever. And when I need to download videos, I will use the USB-C jack. And I'm using an external battery instead of the GoPro Volta. I got a PGY Tech power handle, tripod handle, and it works very well. You can see it right in front of me. I just have the elastic shock cord looped over the top of it, which I need to get something a little more secure than that. But you know, I have a lanyard on that, so if it slips, then it'll be all right. I see the bridge up ahead. It's probably pretty small in this max lens, but we'll get some better pictures a little later on. Meanwhile, in about 100 yards, we'll swing over to a heading of 135 degrees. Heading 177. Let's go south. Now that next bridge should be coming up pretty soon, around the bend. Come around to a heading of 210. Right now we're at 120. So come around hard to port here. And all of a sudden a bridge will appear. No, I'm wrong. Come around to a heading of 30 degrees. It'll be 210 on the way home. Back azimuth, 180 degrees. So I was reading my chart wrong. Come around to 30 degrees. Now I'm at 90. Well, I was going to go through the middle arch, but it's all clogged up with debris, the middle and the left-hand arch. So there's just a small passageway about 10 yards wide, open on the far right arch, right there. Conemaugh River Lake has historically been polluted by acid mine drainage, sewage, and industrial waste. However, in recent years, this pollution load has been reduced and anglers are catching more and more fish. This has occurred due to the water quality improvements in the watershed over the past 20 years. I chose as my turnaround point an obvious scar along both shores of the lake where a shale gas pipeline crossed. Now there's nothing for me to do except to retrace my path back to Altman's Run. The West Penn Trail, located at Conemaugh, utilizes old sections of the Pennsylvania Railroad to provide users with a 17-mile route from Blairsville to Salzburg, passing over 4 stone arch bridges which were built in 1907, 2 of which we have seen today. The railroad used this route until 1950, when the tracks were moved to a higher level during the construction of the Conemaugh Dam. It is amazing how quickly conditions on the water can change. For most of the day it was quite breezy. Then all of a sudden, at this point, the wind stopped and the water became smooth as glass, with only rings of ripples appearing on the surface from bubbles rising from the bottom. Moments such as this are the most treasured on any trip outdoors. Here I make the final right-hand turn off the lake into the little lagoon at Altman's Run. Well, that's about it. Another nice day. About 7 miles. A little bit of wind earlier. Shoulders are sore right now. Feel good otherwise. Pulling into Altman's Run here. Get my bearings where I need to go. It was only back home during the editing of this video that I recalled that there are 4 stone arch bridges that cross Conemaugh Lake, and the trips I took with Ben 20 years ago were downstream of Altman's Run, where we explored the other pair of bridges. No wonder things didn't look familiar today. Oh well, my misunderstanding only provides an excuse for me to return sometime soon and spend another pleasant day on this lake.